This is CyHawk Game Day, sponsored by Nissan and Clear Choice of Des Moines.
Welcome into CyHawk Game Day. I'm Reina Garcia, joined by Jeff Woody. Well, coming into last Saturday's game against Texas, Iowa State was 0-3 in Big 12 play, and the K-State game the week prior, we kind of talked about that was a must-win for them. Obviously, that did not go the way they had planned. What do you do when you lose that must-win game, and how does that change the perspective of your season?
It's hard to label things as a true must-win. It's sort of like it'd be really nice to win when you win it, and if you lose it, it's not the end of the season, but it just makes things harder. And then the next week, again against Texas, that doesn't happen. I think the thing that this program, because they are so young, they had less than 10 seniors play in that game against Texas. They have a lot of guys coming back. So it's not, you know, your championship aspirations after the K-State loss, those are gone. But your ability to improve upon those young guys getting experience, getting Deckers more comfortable, getting Cartavius Norton in the game, and letting everyone kind of get a little bit more along with it, they can still do that, but the rest of the season gets a lot harder.
Sure. Well, let's get into that game against Texas. Hunter Deckers and the crew eager to get back in the win column, and they wanted to strike first in this game. He's going to find Jalen Knoll for a 5-yard touchdown pass to take a 7-0 lead in the first quarter. The Cyclones threatening to strike again in the second, but Hunter Deckers is picked off in the end zone, and the Longhorns would capitalize on that. Quinn Ewers lobs this one up to Xavier Worthy for the 15-yard hookup, and the game is tied at 7. Now Texas would take a 14-7 lead heading into halftime thanks to this 5-yard touchdown pass from Ewers to Jordan Whittington. Down 3 in the fourth, Hunter Deckers looking for an open man, can't find one, so he's going to take this one in himself for the score, and the Cyclones take the lead with under 11 minutes left in this game. Texas would take back the lead, down by 3 again. The Cyclones were driving down the field when Hunter Deckers gets just bombarded by Longhorns. That ball comes out, and Texas recovers it to seal the game. And Iowa State loses yet another heartbreaker, 24-21, falling to 3-4 in the season and 0-4 in Big 12 play. But regardless, Matt Campbell was pleased with his team's performance.
I couldn't be prouder of our team, the guts, the courage. Man, you got freshmen out there playing, you got seniors out there playing, and to be honest with you, I don't know if there's ever been a point in our program that I've been this proud of our football program. So I'll be honest with you, I'm not real concerned. We got to continue to clean some little things up, but man, I'll tell you what I see from our kids, I couldn't be prouder of them.
And it's not hard to understand why this offense looked a lot better than they had the previous 3 weeks. What do you think contributed to Hunter Deckers looking more comfortable, more confident back there?
Yeah, we're going to talk a lot more about this in the whiteboard segment, but the thing they did is they simplified the offense. They looked at what the 3 Big 12 games prior to Texas, what did defenses do, and how did we respond to that? And they said, okay, well, what did they not do very well? They weren't running the ball very well, and then Deckers was having trouble picking up all of the reads because the defenses did all sorts of crazy stuff. So let's just take all that off the table. Let's go back to running the ball pretty efficiently, and let's make simple reads. And they were able to do that effectively, and Deckers was able to play with confidence. So that was, I think, the biggest difference offensively is that they simplified everything down, and they were still able to run the ball, even if it wasn't for 200 yards. They still got back to the things that made them work.
Yeah, it made a big difference. So I want to talk a little bit about that play towards the end there with Hunter Deckers getting, I think a lot of people wanted a targeting call on that. It was very controversial. Do you think the officials got it right in not going that direction?
I think it's a bigger conversation around that because by letter of the law, it probably should have been, but the letter of the law seems like it's a little bit wrong, where if you think about it like roughing the kicker and running into the kicker, there's 2 degrees of penalty. So by letter of the law, if you hit him, plant legs down, it's running into the kicker 5 yards, not a first down, move on. But if you do something egregious, then it's 15 yards and you get that. We're targeting, there's just a 15-yard variety. So if by letter of the law they violate the rule, then you have to eject them and it's 15 yards. So referees sometimes will swallow the whistle in situations that are critical in the end of the game, or they'll blow it and it's this huge difference like Bo Freeler early in the year. So it seems like the targeting rule itself needs to be amended a little bit. So I think they probably could have by letter of the law, but I think it was that portion of the rule is kind of dumb. So I don't know. There's other things that we can talk about regarding Iowa State and Hunter Deckers about not putting yourself in that situation in the first place. But still, I don't know. Could have happened, but didn't. So kind of, I don't know. Can't really hang your hat on what could have, would have, should have.
Right, but I'm sure it's definitely tough when they were driving so well on that, and unfortunately, plays like that happen. That's how it goes. Well, we touched on what the rest of the season would look like for Iowa State. Here is their remaining schedule. It doesn't get any easier. See if we can pull that up. There we go. Even with a struggling OU team next week. I mean, Matt Campbell has said this 1,000 times. This conference, there is no slouch. I mean, how do you see this playing out for them?
Well, you have Oklahoma at home. It's going to be a raucous atmosphere right before Halloween. You have West Virginia at home, which is a rivalry game. You're at Oklahoma State, which Oklahoma State's tough, but their pass defense has been pretty lax. Texas Tech at home, again, at senior night. You've got Xavier Hutchinson, Will McDonald. That's a motivated crowd. Then at TCU, and that game might mean a lot for TCU by the time you get there. But this conference is so balanced that it's not team 1 to team 10. There is a very small difference between those. So they could win every one of those games and they could lose every one of those games. And it's just going to depend on how those bounces and how they control the game throughout the entirety of those games.
And that's the Big 12 for you. Well, we are going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Jeff will explain why, despite that loss, how the Cyclones offense was able to take a step forward in his whiteboard breakdown.